When something matters as much as our financial future, we tend to assume it must be complicated. But anything this important demands expertise and sophistication we couldn't possibly manage on our own. David Jones isn't so sure. He spent more than 3 decades in financial services, first running his own financial planning firm and later in a senior role at the fund manager Dimensional. What David learned is that the most valuable financial advice is often the simplest.
I think there's a misnomer or a trap that some people fall into, which is that you have to make it complicated in order that people will think that you're a smart person and then you're worth whatever we're going to pay you because you've made it look so complicated. But in my experience, people pay for simplicity. I don't think any client in the history of clients has ever walked into an office and gone, will you please make my life more complicated? They want simplicity and clarity. And I think the best advisors, and certainly the ones I've encountered, they're always looking for ways to help their clients actually make sense of the world and then put things in place that remove the complexity from them. They allow them to make simple decisions based on the relevant information. And I think that's what people pay for, clarity and simplicity.
So, what does that simplicity look like in practice? Often it begins with a deceptively simple question, and it's one most of us would struggle to answer.
I would start with these questions like, well, do you know how much money you have on you at the moment? Or what, last time you took £100 from a cash point. Of course, I've had to update that because people don't use cash points anymore. So last time you tapped your watch on a card reader, what did you spend? What did you spend last month? And I found even in really huge audiences that people just didn't know with any degree of clarity or certainty.
That admission is where the napkin comes in. On it, David Jones would sketch 4 simple boxes: what you earn, what you spend, what you own, and what you owe. And then he'd show you how they connect.
This money that's coming in, it's got to do these jobs, it's got to pay for your current spending and your lifestyle, etc. It's also likely servicing debt. So I draw an arrow into what you owe. And then I said the thing that's really important is that you're putting money into what you own, you're accumulating assets. Because the punchline to all of this was when you stop earning, what you own has to pay for what you spend.
It's a simple, almost obvious idea, yet drawn out on a single sheet of paper, it's often the moment the penny drops, the point at which an abstract worry becomes something a person can see clearly and act on. That's the real value a good planner brings, not making your finances more complicated than they need to be, but cutting through the complexity until what matters is clear.